This is worksheet 10.1 part 2. We're combining like terms. Make sure you put your name on here. Smiley face. I'm going to do the evens. Notice the odd answers are on the bottom, where I do expect that you show your work and identify like terms. So here we go. Number 2, I'm adding these two polynomials together. So I'll identify like terms. X to the fourth, x to the fourth. X, x. So negative 7x to the fourth and 5x to the fourth. Negative 7 plus 5 is negative 2. Bring the ending along with it. Now combine the x's. 6x and a negative 4x. That's 2. Oops, a positive 2, so I'll put a plus sign down in front of it. X. There's my answer. There's nothing else to combine. Number 4. Ooh, this is fun. I have a negative 3n to the third and a positive 3n to the third. Got an n squared here, and I've got n's right there. So start with the highest degree. Negative 3n to the third and positive 3n to the third. Add to 0. 8n squared, nothing to combine with that. 5n minus 2n is 3n. Positive 3n. Bada bing, bada boom. Number 6. Got some n to the fourths right there and right there. Realize it's a negative 4n to the fourth, so add the opposite if that helps you realize that. There's an n to the third. No other n to the thirds. Here's an n. No other n's. What shape should I make it? I'll do an open dot. And here is a plain old number or a constant. So I'll put a dot underneath those. So I have a couple things to combine, starting with n to the fourths. 2 and negative 4. Add to negative 2. Go to the n to the thirds. Nothing to combine with that, so I just write it down. 3n to the third. Nothing to combine with the n right there, so we have 4n. And then we have plain old numbers, so plus 2. Bada bing, bada boom. Number 8. Ooh, we're adding 3 polynomials together. Oh, that's exciting. There's some v to the fourths right there. V squareds? I don't see any other v squareds. Constants. So am I missing anything? Yeah. Oh, there's some plain old v's right here. Boom. Start with the highest degree. 7 plus 8 is 15v. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, there's another one right there. 7 plus 8 is 23v to the fourth. I'm curious if, so like, I think I just added those two initially. Eventually, I would not have crossed off this 8v to the fourth, and I would have realized, oops, my v to the fourth isn't right. I caught it, and there we are. So there's my v to the fourths. No v to the thirds that I see. Let's go v squared. I don't see any other squiggly lines underneath it. So we have 7v squared. Let's go to the v's. I have negative 8v plus positive 8v. So negative 8 and positive 8 is nothing. Last but not least, I've got 5 and 3. That's 8. How does that look for an answer? It's pretty good. Number 10. Oh, geez. Now we're subtracting this polynomial off. So we need to add the opposite of everything in this subtracted off polynomial. So change this to addition. Now make this positive r third a negative. Make this positive 8r to the fourth negative. So we've just added the opposite. Now we're adding polynomials so we can combine like terms. Let's identify them first. There's r to the fourths. Here's r to the thirds. So negative 3r to the fourth. 5 plus negative 8, r to the fourth. And now r to the threes, we have negative 2 plus negative 1, which is negative 3r to the third. There we are. Number 12. We're subtracting off this polynomial, so add the opposite. Plus a negative 8, and then we have to take the opposite of this other term as well. Everything inside this parentheses gets oppositized, so that minus sign, or that negative sign, you could think of it, becomes a positive. So now highest degrees first. Well, let's identify like terms. So we have an n to the third, n squareds, constants. Start with the highest degree, so we have a negative n to the third and nothing to combine with it. We've got n squareds here, negative 4n squared plus positive 4n squared. That is 0 n squared, so we don't need to write it down. Last but not least, we have a positive 5 sitting there, so plus 5. Let me cross that off. Oops, there's a negative 8 sitting there. I gotta combine those together. So 5 and negative 8 is negative 3. The guy's like, wait, don't forget about me. Okay, now I gotcha. Now we're good. Now we've identified each term and combined what we could to make it a more simple answer. Number 14, we're subtracting off a polynomial, so let's add the opposite. So positive goes to negative, negative goes to positive, negative goes to positive. Now we identify like terms, and if you wanted to call these minus signs adding the opposite to really push that negative sign close to the 2 and close to the 1, you could. K to the fourth, let's start there. K to the fourths, K to the thirds, K squareds. Looks like that's it for terms. So start with K to the fourth. Negative 2 and positive 3 is a 1K to the fourth, or just K to the fourth. Let's cross those off. Combine those. Now K thirds. Positive 3 and positive 6 is 9K to the third. Last but not least, K squareds. Negative 5K squared. How does that look? Looks good to me. Number 16, we're subtracting off, so add the opposite. Negative 8, positive 2x to the third, negative 3x to the fourth. Now let's combine like terms, so I'll have x to the fourths, I don't see any others, x to the thirds, x squareds, and constants. A lot of different terms here. So start with the highest degree, negative 3x to the fourth. I did not have anything to add or subtract with that. So now x thirds, we got a positive 2 and a positive 4. That's a positive 6x to the third. X squared, don't see any others. Guess we didn't have any x's. And now constants, negative 3 plus negative 8 is negative 11. We cross those off. I think we've done everything we could with that one. Looks good. Number 18. We're subtracting off this polynomial, so add the opposite of all the terms. Identify like terms. Those are like terms. There's an x squared, no other x squareds. There's an x, no other x's. There's a number or constant. There's a buddy right there. Start with the x to the thirds because that's the highest degree. 5 plus negative 6 is negative 1x to the third. Now they're not going to actually write the 1 down, just the negative. So negative x to the third. X squareds, nothing to combine with that. So plus 2x squared. Onto the x's, plus 7x, nothing to combine with this one right here. 1, positive 1, plus 3 is positive 4. Couple left here. Or is this the last one? Holy moly. Goes fast. These are fun. Hey, we're adding polynomials together here, so I do not need to take the opposite of any of these. Now we just need to identify like terms. V to the fifth, V to the fifth. Any fourths? Nope, no fourth powers. Any third powers? Nope. Any second powers? Right there. Any others? Nope. V's constants. This is going to be kind of a silly one. It looks like we had a lot of opposites, so we might get some canceling or variables that get removed from the answer. So here we have 6v to the 5th minus 4v to the 5th. So that's 2v to the 5th. We've got our v squared is the next highest degree or term, so we have 6v to the 2nd. Nothing to combine with it. Now we have our v's, 7v minus 7v. That's 0, so I don't need to write it down. And then we have our constants or Pleyel numbers, -1 plus 1. That's 0, so we don't need to write it down. There's our final answer. And I don't think we have anything else after this, do we? No. All right, try the odds. Check your answers on the bottom. Please label like terms. Nice job with that, folks.